This video is meant for educational purposes only. It contains real-life events of the aftermath of the Chris Watts case.
The murders of Shanann Watts and her two girls continues to make national headlines.
And as the world waits for new information and Chris Watts' next court date, the many questions that still surround this case are taking on a whole new life on Facebook.
Denver 7's Jennifer Kovalevsky is in the studio with that tonight. Jen?
Yeah, Shannon and Ann, while no new reliable information has been released in weeks, thousands of strangers are now playing detective, watching and analyzing the very public life Shanann leaves behind on Facebook. Did it not get...
Birthday, go, Cece. Mommy's favorite.
From the outside looking in, Shanann Watts painted a portrait of the perfect family.
Nice.
With a constant Facebook feed, homemade videos, photos, showing what seemed like a doting father.
We have 2 kids. We live in Colorado, and he's the best thing that has ever happened to me.
And loving husband.
Whack a daddy.
But that picture-perfect image was shattered when police arrested Christopher Watts for killing his own family and unborn baby, then hiding their bodies at this Wells County oil and gas site. As the world anxiously waits for any new details in the case, people have become obsessed with the life Shanann meticulously documented on Facebook. All of these groups are now dedicated to the murders, a new way for amateur private eyes to sleuth that didn't exist during Laci Peterson's murder in 2002, a case so many say is eerily similar to this one. This group has more than 30,000 members, another nearly 14,000. Strangers from all over the world trying to understand how a family who seemed this perfect could end this tragically. Now, we all know someone's image on Facebook isn't always real life. Shannon and Ann, Chris Watts is due back in court on November 19th, where we should learn more about what happened behind closed doors.
All right, Jen, thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
And you can find our continued coverage on the Watts case right now on the free Denver 7 app, including the bizarre interview from a man claiming to be Chris Watts' lover.
So the aftermath of this case is a little scary. You would think, after something this horrible, these families would be grieving. They would be able to move on. They would be going through some kind of healing. And it doesn't appear that that's the case at all. There's been several books written about this case. Some have worked with the families, some have not. And I want to give credit to Scott Reich from Crime Talk for his information on one of the books that was written. And I did use a clip of his in this video, so I wanted to give him credit for that.
Let's talk Cheryl Lynn Cadle and Cadlegate. Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reich from Crime Talk. And now Cheryl Lynn Cadle has been accused of plagiarism by author and attorney Ann K. Howard. The work by Miss Howard was literally cut and paste. Miss Cadle has admitted that the plagiarism took place. Miss Howard's publisher in this particular case is making a demand that Miss Cadle's book be removed from any and all online channels. Miss Howard's publisher is also asking for Miss Cadle to issue a public apology. Miss Howard's publisher is also asking for a complete accounting of book sales to date with any ancillary sales, such as to the Daily Mail. Obviously, Miss Howard's publisher wants to disgorge Miss Cadle of any profits that she may have made on this book, as the work comes directly from Miss Howard.
And there has also been several shows. Reels, HLN, 2020, Oxygen, Netflix, Lifetime. So we have a lot of those things that came out.
Meet 34-year-old Shanann Watts.
Love you guys. Have a great day.
Just about every waking moment of Shanann's life streams live over Facebook.
That we get to enjoy your life and live again and have a blast.
Shannann's views on life,
I'm grateful. Can you see it?
beauty,
Isn't it so fun to watch someone take off their makeup?
parenting,
Careful.
She was very open on Facebook, and if you were from the outside looking in, she seemed to have the perfect life.
Chris and I are sitting here waiting to board our flight to Miami. We're going to Toronto in June. You guys have an amazing day. Bye. See my hat? I loved it.
He was so in love with her. Oh my God. He did everything he could for her to make her happy.
Say hi, Cece.
Hi, Daddy.
Careful, Bella. It's hot. You guys like my mug? Oh my gosh, this is so good. The fire, some cookies.
A lot of snow.
How was Chris as a father, as far as you could see?
He was a very loving father. As far as I knew, he loved his family.
Addie, who asked that we not use her last name, looks up to her friend Shanann.
I just felt like she did everything the right way with so much patience. She was an amazing mom.
She'd do anything for her children, and she wanted them to have everything growing up. There's nothing she wouldn't do for those children.
And then last June, another baby is on the way.
I got a doctor appointment in 2 hours. I know. Boy, Chris wants a boy. I hope it's a boy for him. It'll make him happy. That's just a test.
I know.
As luck would have it, it's a boy.
She had a name for him already?
Nico.
Yes.
She had to keep it Italian, you know? She was very proud to be part Italian.
Christina Meacham and Shanann Watts have been close friends for 14 years.
I looked at Bella and I would look at Shanann. I was like, you guys are exactly the same. With Cece, she was just joy, like complete joy.
The Watts home? Frederick, Colorado, a tight-knit Denver suburb with a family-friendly motto, built on what matters. For Shanann and Chris, family matters most.
It was amazing just to see how they were as parents and as a couple.
We could organize the basement, so.
They had a great marriage.
That's what happens in space.
I know. Chris was a good dad. He will come home from work and take care of the girls.
My daddy is a hero.
He helped them shower and get them ready for bed, anything that he needed to.
Can you guys tell I'm like super happy, excited?
She was hard-driven, hard worker. She would work 12, 14 hours a day.
In 2016, Shanann takes that strong work ethic to Lavelle, a multi-level marketing company that sells vitamin-infused patches.
I'm very determined and I am going to be extremely successful.
She not only loved her job, she excelled at it, even winning an award from the company.
Our team is just loaded with a lot of passion, a lot of heart, and I love that we're out there sharing the love with everybody.
Shanann was reaping the rewards of her hard work.
Everything's paid for, and I got to spend it with my husband. That's the best part.
Company-sponsored trips to San Diego and New Orleans.
So excited, guys. It's about to start.
And then in August 2018, another company trip to Arizona. This time, Chris stays behind with the kids, but her friend and co-worker Nicole Atkinson was with her on the flight home.
Being that she was pregnant on the flight home, she was very uncomfortable on the plane.
And I believe it was around 1:45 in the morning that you dropped her off?
Roughly, yeah.
What was the last thing you said to her?
I just told her, if you need help in the morning, let me know. And we gave each other a hug, and I watched her go into the house.
Very unlike Shanann not to answer the phone, not to at least send a text. And so that, I think, raised the level of concern and fear very early on in this process.
Her car's in the garage, her shoes she wears every single day right in the front door.
The pink means...
That's just a test.
I know. It just says the pink is going to be girls.
I don't know. Just a test.
That's awesome. Guess when you want to, it happens.
You mourned the loss of Shanann and the girls that you played with your children together.
Saturday, Chris Watts, Colorado killer dad. The friends speak.
Car was there, her wallet was there, like everything was left at the house, and my stomach just sank. I just had a bad feeling.
Chris Watts, Colorado killer dad. The friends speak.
Husband charged with killing his pregnant wife and 2 young daughters.
It's the kind of story that doesn't even sound real, and it feels more like crime fiction than something that could happen to the family next door.
Neighbors here, some of them are still outside tonight. They're all on edge.
The FBI calls them family annihilators.
Chris began tripping over his words, stammering, seeming to grow increasingly uncomfortable. I just want them back. Them. I just want them back. Chris let out a small laugh after this statement. The whole thing was at best awkward, at worst a giant neon flashing sign that spelled out guilt. It certainly didn't make Chris seem like a man who was completely innocent. It was during that interview that Sandy, Frank, and Shanann's brother Frankie Jr. ultimately told me they began to wonder if the man they knew could be hiding a very dark secret.
He was too nice of a guy to just do all that damage, you know?
When she went missing, we still didn't think he did that until we saw the interview. It was like, oh,
I knew right away because
well, you didn't.
It
want
was
to think
6:30 in the morning when the pierced pain went through my forehead and I heard Shannon's name. So that's 6:30 North Carolina time, 4:30 in the morning their time.
But everyone who knew Chris and Shanann thought they had it good. It was a marriage to be envious of.
Instead of grieving, this is what was going on after the murders. And it's just, the aftermath is just as sad as the murders, because we've actually watched for 2 years 2 families unable to have any kind of closure whatsoever. And it's not our fault. It's not our fault, the ones that follow the case and discuss and speculate and come up with theories. It's not our fault, because we do this with every case, every true crime case that we talk about. So no one needs to feel guilty for speculating. And with that being said, I want to continue this video and let you guys see some of the aftermath of the Chris Watts case. There's been tons of YouTube videos and live streams done.
I don't even know how to talk about this, but I got permission to make this video, and I just got off the phone and had a lengthy conversation with Shanann Watts' brother, Frankie. I found out later on this evening that he had liked and made a comment on something on my YouTube channel, saying that he really liked my videos, and I had heard that his mom, his parents were very entertained by my videos. And it seemed to me like Frankie, really wanted a real person to talk to. At this point, they don't trust the mainstream media. He said that it was an honor to speak to me, and that the reason that he liked me and that why his parents liked me was the fact that I wasn't holding back, that I was, being real, and that's what they wanted. He said that Shanann would have liked me, and that I really would have liked Shanann, and that he thinks that he just wanted a new life, and that he agreed that it was too lengthy of a time, and that's where he just snapped. And he says that he does believe that Chris snapped. He got to Shanann's house a couple days after she went missing and everything, and he did see Shanann's shoes, her purse, her suitcase by the door, the Facebook group called Chris Watts Accused. He's hoping that everyone will report that group to get it taken down. He says that he saves every death threat, every message that he comes across, and he does hand it over to the authorities in both Denver and in North Carolina. He said that the police have been cooperative. He said that everyone has been reaching out. He said endless calls and stuff for interviews and stuff like that. He said that that's not what they want unless it's done the right way. He thinks, well, his mom's asleep right now, and he said, I'm gonna have my mom call you and we're all gonna talk three-way. And I said, you know, I've got a nice little community, and I just want you to know that the people in my Golightly family are good and gracious, wise, honest, you know, wonderful people. And I told him, I said, I'm a life coach, you know, people call me all the time saying, I'm having a really hard time with this. And he says that he understands. He said that people are reaching out to him, and he says that the amount of love definitely outweighs the hate. He doesn't understand where the mentality is, what he told me, why people would side with Chris at all. And I tried to tell him, and, you know, in my opinion, where it comes from. You know, I asked for permission to fly down to North Carolina. And he said that he thinks that his mother would absolutely love that and would make a smorgasbord. I started laughing because he's got a very southern accent. Like, you could tell he's from North Carolina. And when I told him where I was from, he was like, oh, my mom's like from the Toms River area. I was like, yeah, that's like on the way down to Atlantic City. I said, I read that Shanann was born in Clifton. He goes, yes. I go, I was born in Jersey City. Like, you know, it was cool. It was cool. He was like, are you Italian? I was like, yeah, I'm Italian. And so he told me if I come down there that I have to bring some cool sweets, like Entenmann's and stuff like that, some goodies from Jersey. So, but apparently it touched their heart when I said in one of my videos that I am going to Denver and I'm going to that house to leave flowers. It took a while, but I did get the PayPal. In the description, I'm going to give you his verified PayPal address. If I can just ask my faithful, loving, generous community of sisters and brothers, if we can all give what we can. I didn't tell him I was giving it to everyone, but I did say we want to help. So I don't know exactly if he knows I'm gonna share it with everybody, but if he's watching my videos, then he knows that, you know, and I told him, I said, there are no negative comments about your sister on my channel. I said, if anything, is aimed at North Korea. But I gotta admit, I liked talking to him because even though what Chris had did, you know, he kept, the way that he said, he murdered my family, he murdered my family, he murdered my family. He never had a problem with Chris, ever in the past. Before North Korea came along, they seemed to be good. Don't know what, we didn't get into any sort of conversation with Cindy Watts. I let him know how I feel about her. But yeah, let's come on guys, let's all pitch in if you can. I'm gonna pitch in as well, obviously. Let's help them out. And I assured him no one in my community talks bad about Shanann. If you can help us out, that'd be amazing. Amazing. Bye, guys.
Hey, Miss Golightly. Thank you for all your help with everything. That is me on YouTube, everyone. And I did talk to her last night. And now she's a friend of mine. She's a good lady. And all you people that still talk shit about me and my family and gotta tear other people down and make yourself feel better, may God forgive you. And I feel sorry for you. What a hell of a life.
Okay, guys, well, the time has come that I don't feel any pressure at all to make this video. And it's called The Truth About Frankie Rzucek. Apparently, after all these months, Frankie Rzucek just couldn't leave well enough alone. And he's actually forcing me to talk now. This is what you wanted, and I'm just gonna oblige and give it to him. So people have been asking me for months, hey, have you talked to Frankie? What happened? Blah, blah, blah. I said, I don't want to talk about the family. I don't want to talk about the family. I was friends with them on Facebook, and I deleted that Facebook. Last thing I heard from them, their uncle had died. Mom had said we are in a really deep depression. And I took that as, leave him alone. And the last thing Frankie had said to me, literally, was, did you delete me on Facebook? No, I deleted the Facebook. No, he said, did you block me on Facebook? I said, no, I just deleted it. That's the last. Oh, you guys are gonna enjoy this video. So, for everyone that has been curious about Frankie Rzucek, I know some people find it absolutely fascinating to know that I spoke many times with Shanann Watts' mother and her brother. Well, I think some people were actually even oddly envious of that. Trust me, after you hear my side of the story, which is the closest to the truth that you're gonna get, you will see that it was nothing to be envious of. And this was a video that I said I would never freaking make, and I'm doing it now. I even warned his mother. I told her, I said, tell Frankie to stop talking to these people on YouTube. They are dangerous. They are psychotic. Tell him to stop. She replied, I can't stand the drama. I can't stand the drama. Well, you know what? Neither can I. If I could go back, I'd have never, ever touched this Chris Watts case. Every freaking lunatic came out of the woodwork, Chris Watts. You're gonna get the truth now. And I don't feel guilty at all because he obviously wanted this video to happen, and I think I know the reason why he wants me to make this video. Frankie Rzucek wants me to make this video. I know he does. Wants it. I think he's a little pissed off that I took his link down, the PayPal link. The very first conversation that I can remember with Frankie Rzucek was, He said, man, we made over $100,000 in the GoFundMe, and they took 20%. My friggin' mother donated a whole bunch of its charity. Oh, so stupid. I could have got my teeth fixed. Could have did this. Could have did this. Could have did this. Frankie tells me that Mom only made a couple of thousand. And he only got a couple of hundred. And I said, oh, all right. So, you know, I'm having these daily conversations with him, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, my mom doesn't give me any money. I got fired from my job a week after I got it. You know, if you can help me out, that would really, really help. And all of a sudden, he sends me a Facebook money request for $1,000. And I'm kind of like, well, that was like a little bit more than I was intending to give. But I felt a little bad, not gonna lie. I felt a little cornered because I was at a point where I was monetizing the Watts videos. So I said, you know what? Fine. I go, I'll give him more than I'm making on these videos or whatever. He tells me, oh yeah, the reason I sent you, he goes, a request for such a big amount is because I was like $300 negative on PayPal. Okay. I have a screenshot of that because I had never seen it. This request, and then the request was granted. 3 days later or something. Oh, my mom doesn't give me any money and I feel so bad for asking. I have no money for cigarettes. I have no money for gas. Please give me $200. Can you spot me? It was always, can you spot me? Help me out. My mom won't give me any money. My dad keeps fighting with me. And I'm like, so give it again. Then, their uncle passes away. Oh, Marissa, my family's here. I want to take them out to dinner. I feel bad because I have no money. Can you give me, like, some money for dinner? Send $100 for dinner. Don't know what kind of place they're going to, but I'm just like, okay, we're up to $1,300 in like about a week's time. Then I get a text of a picture of a yellow pickup truck. This was his truck. And the what do they call it? The grill was like all smashed in, and he said specifically, if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have no luck at all. Oh, I'm like, oh shit. He's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Da-da-da. I made a big mistake. I had asked him to come on my live. I was getting suckered in, you know, pulling at the heartstrings, getting my heartstrings pulled. You know, I put myself out there. I felt guilty for the Shanann video. Honestly, I felt like I was put in a position where I had to somehow kiss his ass for fucking forgiveness for that stupid fucking video that I made. Imitating Shanann with the friggin' Lavelle. I did. I felt guilty. But you know what? I was going to have to pay out of the ass forever. No, I put a stop to it. During the live, he says, you know, Shanann always wanted me to go to New Orleans. She said it. Maybe this is a sign. And we're like, cool, you'll go. I go, we'll get donations. Well, does anybody want to help donations? Blah, blah, blah. They send donations to Frankie, and they send it to me. Send it to both of us. I said, okay. Your hotel will be paid for, and so will your flight. And he goes, oh, I want to bring my friend. And I'm like, what the fuck, friend? Like, we're going to be down there with John Crimes and people that are going to be there for the meet and greet. Hold on, Felicia's. It gets better. So I'm talking to his mom. Now, she was watching that live. She goes, Marissa, I told him to tell you to end it because I didn't want you to say. She goes, you said the dates and the hotel you were staying at. She was like, oh my God, call me. So I call, and during this specific conversation, now I had spoken to the mother several times. The mother, take her kind of out of this. Like the mom, out of this equation, kind of take the mom out of the equation. The mom was just different emotions every time I talked to her. And one of the things she said was, Marissa, you know, I'm scared because, you know, I already got one kid murdered. I don't need another kid murdered. Please, wherever he goes, you make sure you follow him. He goes to the bathroom, you follow him. I don't care where he goes, you follow him. I'm saying, all right. Not really thinking about this. So I said, I'm having a problem with him because he's saying he wants to drive and bring friends. I was like, I'm willing to pay for his room. I know, I go, but now he's saying that he wants and flights. I go, so should I just send him gas money? And she says, no. I don't want him driving that friggin' truck down there. It's too far from North Carolina to New Orleans. She's like, it's too far. She was like, I want him on that friggin' plane. She goes, I don't care if I have to pay for it. I don't want him driving. I'm like, all right. I get a call after that picture was sent to me of his truck getting smashed, where he had his fender bender. Yes, it is true. He definitely got into a fender bender. I wake up, I look at my text messages, it says, oh man, the insurance adjuster's coming today and I'm gonna need to pay him. I don't have any money. Do you think he could spot me some money for the insurance adjuster? And I completely ignore it. And I'm like, dude, how the fuck am I responsible for this dude's fucking car? Are you kidding me? Like that. So I talked to Jay for Justice about it. I talked to Barbie about it. I talked to Oni about it. And I'm like, man, I'm screwed. I am so screwed, blah, blah, blah. So I get this text later on in the day and says, oh, don't worry about it. About my earlier text. We got it all figured out. I got the money for my family. I'm like, I'm in my hotel. I'm like, hello? Sandra Rzucek, the mom. Marissa. What? You gotta do me a favor. You gotta do it right now. What's the matter? Marissa, oh my God. What? She goes, you gotta call Frankie. You gotta make sure that he doesn't get into this car. He goes and drives down there. She goes, he's been awake for 2 whole days. 2 whole days. And he duct taped his hood. And my husband went out there yelling, saying, if you go over 70 miles an hour, the hood's gonna fly up and break the windshield. She was like, tell him whatever you have to tell him. I don't care what you gotta tell him. Just make sure he doesn't get into that freaking truck. I said, you know what? You got it. I call, and he doesn't pick up the phone, goes to voicemail. So I leave a voice message, and I said, Frankie, it's Marissa. I said, don't come. Seriously, don't even come. I go, tonight's the Saints game. I go, I have to go to court tomorrow. I got fucking arrested for stealing a lap dance. They're saying I stole a lap dance at some male strip club. And I have to go to court, but I don't leave till Tuesday. I go, and I'm out of here. I'm totally out of here. I go, so by the time you get here, I'll already be leaving. So I get a text message from his mom. The strangest text message I've ever gotten in my entire lifetime. And I don't think that I'm throwing the mom under the bus, but it was just really strange, and I don't understand it to this day. But she said, do me a favor. Text me right now these words. I'm waking up to Frankie energy. I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. I'm waking up to Frankie energy. Now, I know the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. I said, what does that mean? She goes, just do it. So I do it. I don't know what she did with that text message, who she sent it to, what it meant, who it was intended for. Biggest mystery ever. It gets into a really heated discussion because I decided to, like a normal person, refund the money that was sent to my PayPal for Frankie's trip to New Orleans. Ta-da! Sorry, I did it. I felt legally, morally responsible for making sure that this money was for what was it intended for. He did not make it. One of the things that he said was, why did you tell people that I didn't go? What, like someone wasn't gonna ask why we didn't take a photo together? Why we didn't take a video together? Like, I'm not gonna friggin' lie to my friggin' subs. I'm not gonna lie to my friends and my family and the people that watch me. I'm not gonna do that. So, now if Brian needs screenshots of refunds, I guess I could give him that if he wants to put them up. But there's a lot of people's private information in there. So here I am refunding $50, $25, $30, $50, $25, blah, 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 this, $10, blah, 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 blah. And I keep on going. Took me 2 days. A couple $100, but still. I wrote little messages in all of the refund things. I never in a million years thought that it was possible that he would feel so passionately that he was owed that money. He wanted it. He was like, hey, do you think you could give me that money? Just transfer it over to my PayPal. I said, I already gave that back. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I was like, where did the money go with that everybody sent you? He's like, I only got a couple $100 from that. And he goes, I had to fix my car with that money. I said, yeah, but it was for New Orleans. He was like, yeah. He was like, that was the money to get me down there. I had to fix my car with it. So I need that money. And I'm like, I already gave it back. I said, people are calling me a fucking scam artist? People are calling me a goddamn thief? I go, it doesn't help the shit in New Orleans. I go, yeah, people are running with it. He knows He's the perpetual victim. He knows it. He knows that no matter what, he's always gonna have everybody that feels so sorry for him, just the way I did. Why was he disappointed? My question to Frankie, why were you so disappointed that you only got a couple of hundred for New Orleans and that your mom only made a couple of thousand on PayPal? Why were you so pissed off about GoFundMe, how much they took? And why were you bitching about your mom giving huge portions to charity? This is all the truth. Why is it weeks later I'm hearing that yesterday he's telling somebody, Marissa owes me $100. Marissa owes me $100. I don't owe you anything, dude. And I'm not going to live in some sort of fear that you talk about all these lawyers you have, and I don't know, call one of your lawyers to try and sue me for what you believe you are owed. I gave the money back to them. You did not go to New Orleans. He's like, oh, we could have used the money when we went up to Jersey. And I was like, no, he would go with the fucking Jersey. The thing with Jersey, the mom, she's from Jersey. My mom is Nutley. They're from Clifton, the town over. She's like, oh, I told all my nieces and everyone to friend you, blah, blah, blah. So I start getting all these friend requests on the Facebook from her whole side of the Jersey family. And she's like, oh, we're going to eat, we're going to meet, we're going to talk, when we get there. I ask her what part of Jersey, she tells me. And fine. So he's like, yeah, no, send me that money so I can get to Jersey. I'll get to Jersey. I'm thinking, he was like, no, my mom's flying. I'm driving. And I'm like, no. You know what, Frankie? When I see you in Jersey, then that's like a different story. Like, you know what? I'll meet you. I'll go hang out with you. I'll meet your freaking family. Fine. But that's it. Like, I'm not going to be your human ATM. Nobody wants to be anybody's human ATM. Think of how you would feel if you were put in that situation. Sandra asked me to make a video. Wanted me to clear her daughter's name of the debt and what kind of person she was, because she felt she got screwed with 2020. I was so happy that they had the opportunity to go on Dr. Phil. I was like, you know what? They'll make some money. You know, Frankie was saying, oh, I was hoping that we could have gotten enough money, you know, from donations to go on a cruise. I want to take my family on a cruise. I want to fix up my truck and blah, 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 blah. One time I probably kind of ticked him off when I told him that, you know, maybe you should put your mind towards, you know, getting back to, going back to work. And, you know, I heard he's an excellent carpenter. I heard he does amazing home improvements. His mom told me, and he said, when I get to Jersey, I'll do any improvements you want on your house. Blah, 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 blah. Like, he did. He was very, very sweet. But the mom was very forthcoming. She said, stop giving him money. Stop giving him money. He's self-medicating. I already lost one kid. I had to cut myself off from Frankie. So you know what, Frankie? You might feel like I owe you $100. Okay? Is that the magic number? Or is it going to change? Is it going to go to 1,000 next month? Are you going to reach out to PewDiePie and have him make a video about what a horrible person I am for giving back the money? Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. That's all I got to say is do what you got to do. Whatever you need to do to make me look as if I'm some sort of scam artist or some sort of thief, you know what? Do what you gotta do. Because for a while there, you left me alone. So I'm wondering, why now, after all this time? Why, after all this time, do you need money? Mistreated me. Just be thankful it wasn't you. So, it was me. So if anybody wanted karma against Golightly, you know what? Frankie got $1,300 out of me. But that's all right. Because you want to know something? I go to work. I got a happy, healthy family. I'm blessed. And I have no problem working for my money. So, do what you got to do, honey. People are willing to speak out about it. But, apparently, his situation's getting worse. And apparently, there's a girl who said that she is currently digging for some stuff where she was used by him as well. And the thing is I said, this is not a campaign to, let's get him. Let's get him. I don't want that to happen. And if you watched my last video, I said, I don't want people to bully him. I don't want people to harass him anymore. I just think that it's wrong. And I think that it's unfair. It's obvious that he's got a lot of problems. And I was a sucker. And it's over now. Now we move on.
That's my wait.
Hello, I am Frank Rzucek. Last summer, on August 13, 2018, my daughter Shanann Watts and her children were murdered. They were killed by Shannon's husband and the children's father, Chris Watts. I can't possibly describe how painful the last 11 months have been for myself, my wife, and my son Frankie Jr. And for everyone else who cared so much about Shanann and her children. Just dealing with this type of tragedy is more than a family should bear. But I am making a statement today because for the past 11 months, piled on top of pain and the grieving of this devastating loss, our family has been subject to, horribly, cruelly abused, outright bullying, and on a daily basis. I don't want to draw more attention to the viral material that has been posted online. And so I don't want to go into specifics. But I will say that our family, including Shanann and her children and our grandchildren, have been ridiculed, demeaned, slandered, mocked in the most vicious ways you can imagine. We have been subject to false accusations, fake Facebook accounts, hate speeches, and constant stream of ugly, evil insults and attacks. Every time we turn around, there is someone trying to capitalize on our tragedy. By spreading false rumors and outright lies about Shanann and our grandchildren. We have been subject to threats on our lives, all because we are victims in painful tragedy. This is so wrong. It is cruel, it is heartless, and it's flat wrong. It breaks my heart to know that we are not the first family to have to live through this kind of tragedy. And we won't be the last. Families like ours should have the right to be safe and the right, a basic level of privacy, the right to mourn in peace. And it boils my blood that my family and other families are dealing with worse imaginable tragedy, have to deal with this kind of cruelty and bullying. It needs to stop. To Congress, or to any position in power, we are calling on you to do something, to pass laws that will protect victims of unspeakable crimes from this kind of abuse. Our online social media sites like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We have contacted you many times, reported this abuse, but no avail. We are calling on you again to do the right thing, to take some responsibility for your platforms and stop this despicable conduct. To the people who feel they are entitled to profit off our loss, we urge you, please stop. And for the people who are interested in this case, who feel compelled to comment and discuss, please stick to the truth. It is painful enough for us to just dealing with the reality. Reading the insane conspiracy theories, ugly false rumors, and lies only make it more painful. Finally, to the people who have stood with us, who have supported us and prayed for us and our family. For Shanann and her grandchildren, we can't thank you enough. God bless you all, and thank you for your time. Thank you.
Hey, Frank, quick question, and asked this respectfully, but was there any fear about coming forward because you're now giving these people that are saying this stuff even more for their platforms, if you will?
No.
And did you come here back to Colorado here today, for the sole purpose of doing this?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Why? Because I felt it needed to be done here at her house.
Because that's how bad it is.
Yes, it is.
Are people, it sounds like a lot of this is happening in the online space. I know you don't want to go too much into it, but people hide behind those names on the internet, and it sounds like that's what's kind of going on?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that and how that's...
Basically, it's a non-stop thing. Everybody talking about things that were not done correctly, and keep pushing the issues. It's a lot of ugly out there. A lot of ugly.
How is your family? This should be your time to grieve. You went through the court process. This should be your time to grieve, and it sounds like you haven't even fully been able to do that very well because of everything else that's been going on.
No, we haven't. And it's not that we're looking at the stuff that's on YouTube's and Facebook, and it gets sent to us.
Have you had people contact you directly, some of these things that are out there? Have they contacted the family directly?
Not personally on our, live stuff, but on computer type, your phones and stuff.
Like Facebook messages, have they tried to contact you, some of these folks?
What would you tell those people? I know some of them might watch this or post this on the internet tonight. What would you tell them? Like I've been telling them for the longest time, just stop. Please just stop. Get on with your lives. Leave ours alone. We can't grieve. It's just a non-stop thing. They know who they are. We have a lot of YouTubers out there that are, I'll mention YouTubers, and they are backing us. But there's a lot out there that are just terrible.
You mentioned lawmakers. Is there something that you would hope they can do for legislation?
Well, I hope they can do something about these, this YouTube, Facebook, or Google, whoever is involved in the Twitters, and because it's not fair to these victims that are going through this. We don't deserve it.
And you're speaking on behalf of other people who.
I'm speaking on behalf of other people that I've read already in there, and it's not fair to us.
What has been the response from, let's say, a Facebook when you said, please help us, and flag this? What's been the response?
Nothing. Nothing.
It's been nearly a year now since this crime happened.
That's
Is
correct.
this stopping your ability to, I know you can't move on, but to try and progress forward?
Yeah, because we hear it all the time. It's a ongoing thing. Like I said, there's a lot of people out there that are helping us, and they're pushing, and they're really, really pushing to get these people stopped. But it just seems as though YouTube just, I don't know what it is with them.
Knowing this is such a big case, if you could choose how your daughter's name is being kept alive right now, how would you want people online to be talking about her and your granddaughters?
Speak the truth. My daughter and my grandchildren were beautiful people. And my daughter was a very smart person, intelligent person. And she needs to be kept that way instead of being ridiculed and talked down about.
You mentioned a little bit with the prepared statement, just thanking folks that, can you speak more to that? I mean, your appreciation and gratitude.
Well, we get a lot of support from all over the world. You're talking England, Philippines, Australia. Everybody sends us cards, gifts, supporting us. Don't even know us. And it's it hits you in the heart when you see that people out there really do care and don't even know you. Just by seeing what's going on out there, they appreciate you.
And speaking to the Tri-Town area, is there anything you wanted to say since you're here, to the three communities up here that for the support and whatnot?
I just thank them all the time when I come out here. They're such a great neighborhood and great people out here.
How have you been dealing with the bullying, over the past couple months, short of what you're doing today? How has your family been trying to work through that?
Well, we just try to ignore it, but sometimes you just can't ignore it. It's a constant thing on your brain that they keep throwing it at you. It's sad when you get threats and everything else.
How are you planning, and I know this is a personal question, how are you planning to mark that year? What might you guys be planning to do?
That's ours.
Okay. What else? Anything else? We don't want the bullies to win. Anything else that you would like to say about your daughter or about the case?
No, my daughter is just, I just want her to be remembered how she was, a beautiful person. And just like all this to stop, not just for me, but for everybody else out there.
It sounds like today, really, you're defending her and her.
Well, yes, that's how she was. She defended herself, and I'm out here now defending her. It doesn't need to be like this. I shouldn't have to be out here doing this. These Facebook and people should be regulating their people instead of just letting them go. Making money off of my daughter's death is ridiculous. There's a few out there making some big money off it.
I know the attorneys aren't going to answer a question, at least on camera, but has there been any dialogue with local lawmakers to take this to the next step?
That's something that we have discussed. At this point, there's no real update in that area.
So you've had some dialogue with lawmakers, representatives, that sort of thing?
It's something that we are in the process of. I'm trying not to go too deep into it, but that is something we've considered, something that we're following up on, yes. And more than just local, a few national as well. It is something that people are very concerned about. It is pressing, and it is something very tragic.
I was going to say, with something like this, too, it's probably hard because which police agency do you go to, that sort of thing. That's probably where it gets a little muddy.
Yeah. It honestly, it's been something that once again, we weren't anticipating talking to a whole much as attorneys in this case, but you're correct. There is no, and we called Facebook, we called YouTube, we called Twitter. Honestly, when Frank talks about the people who were there for him, there's a dedicated group of people who were just going out there and constantly reporting, trying to get back at these people, essentially to take these things down. But they're, like Frank is saying, there's no regulatory arm of YouTube. There's no customer service line for YouTube, no customer service line for Facebook to contact. And we have really tried and racked our brain over a year to get something done. A lot of this is just getting a message out there and hoping somebody responds.
That's what the message is for. Hopefully somebody will hear us.
Do you hope maybe that this could change law? I mean, is that also your plea
I'm
tonight?
hoping it'll change the law, but I'm hoping that these, Facebook and all these people, really look at what's going on their thing instead of just trying to get subscribers, whatever they want to call it. It's just, it's sad that they allow it to happen.
Obviously, nobody should have to go through this, but in your family, is there anyone specifically who's taking the deepest toll on this cyberbullying?
We all are.
Collective.
And Frank, I guess going over this past year, is it kind of maintained? Is it still?
It's still going just as strong as it was in the beginning. Like I said, it's not only my family; it's other families too.
Have you talked with them personally, or any of them?
Don't want to talk to them.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
So yeah, lots of crazy aftermath in the Chris Watts case. This is only part 1 of Aftermath. Stay tuned for part 2 as we explore the mess of social media surrounding these families in this case. Thank you for listening, and keep up on all things J is for Justice at www.jisforjustice.com.